called up Mike and Dan. Say, you get on the phone to this guy who just took over, and you make this guy step up, coaching and everything. I said, all right, how's that? This is like ballooning. Did you tell Vicky what I did to Ken's? If it was someone I didn't like, I would have, he was on his head.
Naval Economic Redevelopment Agency will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's great.
This is terrific. Mr. Secretary, has this meeting been advertised according to law?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it has.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Diadio?
Here.
Mr. Newton?
Here.
Mr. Palanto?
Here.
Mr. Grabelny? Mr. Conti?
Here.
Ms. Fisher?
Here.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick? Here. Councilman McGill?
Yeah.
First order of business is approval of minutes from prior meetings held on July 11th, 2019. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve on roll call vote.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Palanto?
Yes.
Mr. Grabelny?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick?
I will abstain, I wasn't present.
Yes. Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Next order of business is 6A, authorization for payment of bills non-NL. That's A through O. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve on roll call vote.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Palanto?
Yes.
Mr. Grabelny?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher? Councilwoman Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Next order of business, 6B, authorization for payment of bills NREL-related non-escrow to be paid when funds are available, and that's P through V. Can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve on roll call vote.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Palanto? Mr. Grabelny?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Next order of business, authorization for payment of bills to be paid from escrow accounts to be paid only if escrow funds are available. And that's W through KK. Have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we approve on roll call vote.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Palanto?
Yes.
Mr. Grabelny?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Next is pending matters, waterfront redevelopment project. We'll start with number one, request to relocate mid-rise vehicle sales facility. Mr. Samuel?
Yes, everyone's received in their packet a request to go through and modify the approved plan to allow the mid-rise vehicle sales facility to be located in the northern portion of site, just north of the Bass Pro site. We've reviewed it. It makes sense. You have a report from us indicating that we would recommend that be a permitted area for the mid-rise vehicle sales.
Mr. Baker?
Nothing else on the water.
Any questions from the commissioners or comments? Okay, moving on to number two, completion certificates and project summary for EDA regarding HDSRF.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll take that one. As we've completed and closed out the various HDSRF for the $20 million in funding from the state for the remediation, now that we've wrapped it up, we need to file statements, a summary with the EDA regarding the completion of the project. And Rennie had signed them in the past, and we thought Joe would be the appropriate person to sign them going forward. So there's a resolution on the agenda for that later.
Any questions or comments? Moving on to number 3, amendments to parcel C and parcel D ground leases.
That's also mine, Chairman. The ground leases for parcel C and D did not include a provision that would easily allow a portion of the property to be carved out and sold. So, for instance, if a large theater company comes in and they want to own the property instead of lease the property, there was a complex mechanism for doing that. It would have been difficult. The amendments will allow that to happen more easily if someone wants to buy the parcel that they're building their building on.
Any questions or comments? Moving on to number 4, recognition agreement for movie theater.
Speaking of that large movie theater business that might come to the site, the redeveloper is moving forward with an agreement with a large theater company to come to the site. When you have a major tenant like that on the site, they want to be sure that they have the rights to something which lawyers will call quiet enjoyment. That means if they're paying their rent and they're paying their taxes and they're doing everything that they need to, if the redeveloper, for instance, is not doing something or they're a default in something, it doesn't mean we get to throw the theater out. They get to stay there and quietly enjoy the property so long as they're fully in compliance. And that was the 4th of the resolutions for the agenda of the new business.
Any questions or comments?
Hey, Mike, the properties where the movie studio is, digital property, are they gonna have movies and stuff over there?
It's going to be a large, Chairman, if you wanted to ask the redeveloper to describe the theater, I don't know if you're at that point yet.
Kevin, do you have any comment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Newton, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question, please?
The parcel where the movie theater was.
I'm sorry, Kevin Polston, North American Properties, Project Executive for Riverton.
Don, you're talking about the old theater that's been
The old
closed
theater, yes.
for
Oh, the
years?
Amboy Cinema?
Yes.
No, that's not part of this.
That's not part of this.
Okay, that's what it sounded like to me.
Oh, no, this
No.
is on parcel C.
Okay, all right, okay, all right, no, that's
Sit
fine.
down, Kevin.
Thank you. That's my best work yet.
Mike, I just have a question. Going back to 3, actually. Do we have a preference for tenants to buy versus lease? I mean, because if you get into a situation where tenants everybody starts to look to buy instead of lease, is it better for us? Is it worse for us? Do we care?
Actually, it's none of our business.
Okay.
It's his property.
Yeah,
But,
and if I could, Chairman,
Yeah.
to a large extent, it's going to depend on if the restaurant has a concession liquor license through the town, through their agency, or wants to have a separate liquor license on their own. And some of the national chains, they insist on owning their property, or they're not going to come in, and others want to lease.
Right, but either way, it's up to the property owner to make the
And it
decision.
doesn't make much of a difference for us.
All right.
Okay, resolution providing for holding of private executive meeting pertaining to litigation, personnel, contract negotiations, and property acquisition and sale. Can I have a motion to go into closed?
Make a motion, we go into close.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, we're going to give Joan a minute to go downstairs and shut the TV off, and I would ask all the commissioners to shut their microphones off.
Back in.
Come back in.
It seems that everything we went over in open
Is it?
is it, so we don't need to go into closed. Can I have a motion to go back into open?
Make a motion, we go back in.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. Under new business. You want to read that, Joe? Read it into the record, resolution?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, please. This is resolution of the Cerebral Economic and Redevelopment Agency supplemental charter resolution dated July 11th, 2019, granting consent for Cerebral Seaport Associates Urban Renewal LP to file application with the Borough of Cerebral Planning Board and other governmental entities.
That's the mid-rise
Allowing the
car
the
dealer.
relocation of the mid-rise facility.
Okay, so I put it to a vote. Have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve.
Roll call?
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Newton? Mr. Palando?
Yes.
Mr. Gabelli? Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick? Yes. Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Mr. Ambrosio, you want to do B, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. B, resolution of the Cerebral Economic Redevelopment Agency authorizing the agency to file project completion certificate and project summary with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority in connection with hazardous discharge site remediation fund grant agreements.
I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton? Mr. Palando?
Yes.
Mr. Gabelli? Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick? Yes. Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Okay, C,
Next resolution, the resolution of Cerebral Economic Redevelopment Agency authorizing amendments to parcel C ground lease and parcel B ground lease by and between the Cerebral Economic Redevelopment Agency and Cerebral Seaport Associates LP in connection with the waterfront redevelopment project.
motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve.
Roll call?
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton? Mr. Palando?
Yes.
Mr. Gabelli? Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick? Yes. Councilman McGill?
Yes.
D,
Chairman, resolution of the Cerebral Economic and Redevelopment Agency approving recognition agreement by and among Cerebral Seaport Associates, Urban Renewal LP, Regal Cinemas Inc., and Cerebral Economic and Redevelopment Agency.
I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve.
Roll call?
Mr. Diadio?
Yes.
Mr. Newton? Mr. Palando?
Yes.
Mr. Gabelli?
Yes.
Mr. Conti?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kilpatrick? Yes. Councilman McGill?
Yes.
Any comments from the commissioners? Seeing none, can I have a motion to open up to the public?
Make a motion, we open to the public.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Does anyone in the public wish to speak at this time? Seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion, we close the public.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Thank you, everyone.
Is this a record or what?
Record.
It is definitely a record. That's the fastest ever.
This is a record. All right. Now I gotta go over the heck.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
I hope it's in there.
Dave? My father would,
You want to go to ShopRite? You're going to have to take this with you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend.
thanks, yeah.
That's a good.
The guy that's usually
Big.
Anthony Iacoca. He's not, he hasn't returned.
Yeah, he's
Not.
No, I thought you were giving them to do something.
It's coming from that other person. Yes. That one down under.
No, I'm supposed to be in Disney next month. I booked it so I could be here for the election. And I booked it.
I was there from 11 to 12:30.
You guys have the like, you're supposed to be
Three of them. So I'm meeting with him.
Instead of the fourth Thursday, the third Thursday.
Terrible. I'm just aggravated, basically.